So here we are then for the final of the Red Bull kart fight. And on the front row of the grid, Shinya Sawada ahead of Vishak in the number 14 kart. And those are the two men who will set off at the head of this grid, a grid of 20 karts, men from all over the world here for the Red Bull Kart Fight World Final.
Ha realizzato un Kart per questa azienda italiana è dato a capo di Red Bull, la superiore selezione in tutto il mondo del Red Bull Kart Fight in piedi per andare a sfogare un po' di intenzione. Ci si gioca comunque Bologna.
Diciamo la seconda fila per 18 è giusto Roscov e il numero 1 della portoghese Seria, in terza fila con il numero 16 il messicano Villaseñor e il brasiliano numero 13 Correa Conrad, in quarta fila Mirko Maurito con il numero 6 con l'italiano Kart e il numero 7 l'inglese Richardson, in quinta fila l'ucraino Schendek con il numero 19
two results from the Houston grid. Number 4, pushed at the back of the grid, is
il libanese Agi e il numero 9 il giocatore Alzani e il decima fila numero 15 la Taia Diavolo numero 4 Bologna la coppia di professionisti
So away on the warm-up lap for the Red Bull Kart Fight World Final, 28 laps, and it's all come down to this. Men pulled in from all over the world, 20 nations represented here. I'm Peter Clifford, and joining me in the commentary box is Miguel Molina, the Red Bull driver for Audi in the DTM. Well, Miguel, we've got a great race ahead of us, I think.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of nationalities. Yeah, good afternoon for everyone. And yes, we will see a good race, I think. Some of the drivers showed good potential, and for sure, after the qualifying races, it will be a good main fight.
And on the front row of the grid then is the 13-year-old Japanese Shinya Sawada. Alongside him, number 14, Ivan Vishek, the 19-year-old Croatian. Then the number 18 machine of Vasily Roshkov, the 23-year-old Russian. Then Thiago Teixeira, the #1 machine, 27 years old from Portugal. Here they go, lining up on the grid, 28 laps, and it's a knockout system as well. So after lap 10, the last kart will be knocked out. We'll get into that a little bit more, leaving only 2 karts to contest the last 2 laps of the race. 28 laps to decide the destiny of the Red Bull Kart Fight World Championship. That's the title that the winner that goes away from today will have, Red Bull Kart Fight World Champion. Really something great to shoot for. 28 laps, watch the lights. 1, 2, 3 red lights. When they go out, they're away, and it's a start, and not a good start there, I don't think, from Vishak. Vishak took the start, he didn't get away well, and I rather think that it is the Japanese Sawada who's in the lead. We'll see as they sort themselves out. In the earlier qualifying races, there was a lot of action on the first lap. There's already somebody hit one of the marker blocks there on the inside. If they do too much of that, they're going to be penalised with a 15-second stop-go penalty. And they've really got to stay off those curves. That's why the green marker blocks have been put out there. And you just completed the Pro Kart race, Miguel, which you won. How is the track surface?
Yeah, the track is quite good. I think it's a good layout for go-karts. It's quite wide, so we can see a lot of overtakes. So yeah, it should be a good fun for the drivers, and also it's a bit bumpy, but it's clear.
And it is the Japanese who lead, just as we thought. He got a great run away from the start, Shinya Sawada. He leads in the number 10 kart. Second is Roshkov, the Russian. Vishak back in 3rd place, ahead of Vijay Sonora. Lorito, the pole position man from the qualifying times on Saturday, he's back in 5th place. We'll expect him to make some moves. Thiago Teixeira, the Portuguese, back in 8th place. I don't expect him to stay there for very long. Anyway, working their way through a lap 2, 28 laps, plenty of time here and plenty of action. Do you think the guys are actually going to find it tough over 28 laps? Is it hard on them?
Yeah, it will be hard. It will be hard for the guys, because it's quite the track is quite tough to drive, and with these cars that has a lot of power they have to be really fit. And we'll see in 28 laps what's happened.
And the leading 2, just getting away already from the rest of the field there. It is Sawada, chased by Roshkov, the 13-year-old Japanese that leads. This is almost a replay of race 1, when Roshkov shadowed Sawada all the way to the finish. Tried to overtake him on the last lap, couldn't do it, ran almost off track and had to finish 2nd. But I don't think Roshkov is just going to sit happily there in 2nd place this time. He's 0.8 of a second, just under a second behind the Japanese as they completed lap 2 of 28. They've already pulled away. They're 2.3 seconds clear of the pack, headed by Vishak. So they're all streaming through there, and they've already been warned that, spinning other drivers around is simply not allowed. They're going to have, and somebody got touched there just as I said that. If they do too much of that, they're going to be hit with a stop-and-go penalty of 15 seconds. So they've really got to try and keep it clean. The 2 leaders, Sawada and Roshkov, getting away at the moment at the front. They're 0.6 of a second clear. But I think that Lorito, he was the pole position man. He's one of the fastest guys on the track at the moment. And if he can get some clear road ahead of him, I think he at least could close down on the 2 race leaders. Really is difficult, isn't it, again, in these situations when it's so tight in the bunch like that?
Yeah, it's difficult, and when you are in a train like this, it's quite easy that someone hit you and then your race is over. But at least we are looking at a good race. The two first drivers went a bit away from the others, but we can see that the Russian guy it's catching the Japanese. So we'll see. It's being really interesting.
Yeah, this is exactly what happened in race 1, and they raced like this for very much the race distance. And the number 18 kart of Vasily Roshkov, he was happy to sit behind in the first race, and then found he couldn't make it past the Japanese on the last lap. So I wonder if he's going to be just so happy to sit there this time, or whether he's going to make a move earlier on. Be very interesting to see. Of course, if he does make a move, he's going to show the Japanese just where he's quicker. And at the moment, the Japanese has no idea. He has not chased Vasily at all, and he does not know where the Russian has the advantage over it. So down the start and finish, they'll be completing lap 5 of 28, just 0.3 of a second between them. It's 3 seconds back to Vishak Vijanor, Lorito, the Italian, Conrad, Richardson, Teixeira, Siwadina and Schendrick. They complete the top 10. So these guys behind, as I say, I would think that Lorito has the possibility, if anybody, to close down on the leading duo of Sawada and Roscoff. He was the fastest man in the qualifying times on Friday, but he had a disaster of race one. He got spun around on the first lap, sent right to the back of the field, and that damaged his race result from race one. He did better in race two with a reverse grid, but of course it meant that he wasn't going to come off the front row of the grid, and he's got that work to do, cutting his way through the pack. So the leaders out onto this super wide start and finish straight again, completing lap 6 of 28. Nothing between them. This is the pack, the battle, and it's Fischak who has the advantage over Vijanor, and Lorito still back in 5th place. The Italian can't get through the pack, and in fact it's Fischak, if anything, who's making ground and getting away from the group behind. There goes the two race leaders. There goes the 14 card of Fischak, the Croatian. 8. The Fischak, the Croatian, just 19 years old, doing a great job. Here's the pack, 16 and 6. That's Pablo Vijanor, the Mexican, ahead of Mirko Lorito, the Italian. And they're breaking away now from the men behind. But this, still the lead duo. The Japanese leading the Russian. And so far, as I say, just to repeat to the first phase, the Russian not wanting to show his hand too early. Anything to pick between these two?
Well, I think the Japanese guy showed yesterday also that he has a good driving style and really clean lines. But I think the Russian guy, it went progressive to the top, and this is what's showing in the main final. He's fighting for the race, so it's quite long, it's still quite long, so many laps. But yeah, I think we will have a good fight at the end.
And what about the track surface? Is it all dry now? Is it all the same, or are there different slippery patches to watch out for?
Yeah, for sure it went improving the track and also the grip. But in the dry, we have some part that is still wet, like where the sun is not going into the tarmac. So, but I think they know everything. They feel every lap that it's going to be much better. And yes, I think it's not a big problem.
Now these karts have had the same tyres on all weekend, but tyre degradation shouldn't really be a problem for them.
It's not a big problem because they are so hard, and it was impressive how much grip they had in wet conditions, these slick tires. And
oh, and 18 up the inside, he's done it. The Russian came through, he just didn't want to wait any longer. Superb outbraking manoeuvre by Vasily Roshkov, the 23-year-old from the Russian Federation, just went inside the Japanese at the end of the start and finish straight. A really nice move.
Yeah, it was a really nice move. Like I said, we'll have a good fight until the end, and yeah, almost now 7 seconds from these two guys to the P3 driver. So let's see how it goes.
And it's interesting because now it's the first time that Shirada, the young Japanese, the 13-year-old student, has seen just what the leader can do. It's the first time they're going to be following Roshkov, and it'll be interesting to see whether Roshkov shows him the good racing lines and actually the Japanese can pick up the speed. There's that battle for 3rd place. They complete lap 10 of 28. Lorito now has moved up into 3rd place. He's the Italian, was quickest in qualifying, ahead of Richardson, the British driver. Fischak back to 5th, ahead of Vijanor, and Conrad. Teixeira is back into 8th place, ahead of Schendrick and Siradina. So for the first time now, Lorito really has a clear road ahead of him, but he's not lapping as fast as Roshkov. Roshkov is in the 47, 147.856. Superb stuff from the Russian. But what a great battle it is midfield there. That's Richardson in the number 7 car getting it all sideways. Richardson in the number 7 car. He's one of the biggest drivers here. He's a really tall lad. Joe Richardson, the 21-year-old student from Essex in the UK. And although these karts are weight balanced to a degree, there's a maximum of 25 kilograms they can put on them, and Richardson's really outside that kind of limit, so he still has a weight disadvantage, and that's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, it is, because in the go-karts one of the things that can give you advantage is the weight. And here, if you are too tall, you have this disadvantage. But he's showing that he's managing that, so he's in the top 5. So he's doing a good job.
Yeah, really doing a great job. So he's put the frustration behind him and just knows that that's what he's got to deal with. As out onto the start and finish straight to complete lap 12, not even half race distance yet. It's still Roscoff from Sawada, absolutely nothing in it at all. They're in the 47-second brackets, going quicker all the time. 147.6, 147.5 for Sawada. They've now got an 8-second lead over Lorito, Richardson and Vishek. And there's a yellow flag out. Didn't quite see what that was for, but obviously not one of the leading duo. They're still pressing on. And we're already into the knockout zone. The field is being reduced because at lap 12 we've lost a couple of karts, the slower karts being knocked off the back of the grid, back of the field, and that really, apart from being bad luck for those two guys, means that we're not going to be really lapping any karts here, and that leaves it a much cleaner race.
Yes, this is good because sometimes when you are lapping another car, it can happen that you lose time. So at least now, and in this race, is the first time that I see this kind of race and this format of the race. But it's really nice because they have the system with the lights. We can see now that it's in red lights on top.
And so that's Chun Yao Lo, the 27-year-old Taiwanese. He unfortunately is one of the first to be knocked out of the race. And now it's El Haj and Abdulayev there, I believe, will be the next guys to go. In running at the moment in 17th and 18th place. So tough on them. But they do get a warning light. They get the green light, which all the karts are showing starts to flash the lap before they're excluded. It warns them that they're in the last 2 bracket and they've got to get past one of the guys in front, otherwise they're going to be excluded on the last lap. So really puts the pressure on them. So we're back with that third place battle. It's Lorito just ahead of Vishek now. They really are fighting very hard, the pair of them. They've got a slight advantage over the number 13 kart of Fabio Conrad, the 20-year-old Brazilian from Rio de Janeiro. But they are really hard at it in the battle for third place. Third, fourth and fifth there. And in fact, Conrad has caught up with them. The Brazilian now right with those two, making it a 3-way battle for third. Absolutely superb stuff. Headed by Lorito in the number 6 car, Vishak in the 14, and the Brazilian in number 13. Out onto the start and finish. We're already heading on their way to lap 15 of 28, and Sawada has got back in front of Roscoff. We didn't see what happened off track, but he's got a 1.3-second advantage suddenly, so pretty clear that Roscoff made some kind of a mistake. It wasn't on that lap because they both lapped in the 147.5. It must have been on the previous lap that he made some kind of mistake. Obviously disaster for the Russian. It'll be very, very interesting to see just if he can knuckle down. They're lapping identical times on that last lap, so he's got a lot of work to do if he's going to get back on terms with the 13-year-old Japanese. We're steadily losing people at the back of the field, as I say. Haj and Abdulayev have gone. As the race goes on, they're heading towards lap 16 of 28. There they go, across the line now. Sawada, and it's 1.3 seconds, very, very similar lap times. Roscoff was just a 10th quicker that time, but he's got to do better than that if he's going to get back on terms with the Japanese. Do you think, you know, at 16 of 28, are they starting to feel it now?
Yeah, we'll start to feel that the fuel consumption also and the weight in the car will help a bit. But yeah, now it looks like the Russian guy is doing a good lap times, so a bit quicker than Sawada. So I think it's not fixed now that the first two are in this position for the end.
Still plenty of action left in the race, certainly also for that battle for third place, as the leaders cross the line. It's down to 1.1 seconds, another 10th Roscoff took out of Sawada. He's inching closer. He's still got 10 laps. He's still got plenty of time to get back. Well, not plenty of time. He's got just enough time to get back on terms. They're 10 seconds ahead of Vishak, Conrad and Lorito battling for third place. Vijanor, Cedric, Richardson, Teixeira and Kuzba are the top 10. So that great battle going for the final podium position, of course, the normal podium here, 1, 2, 3. Sawada and Roscoff seem to have the first two places between them, but the battle for the third podium position between Vishak, Conrad and Lorito. Lorito pushed back to 5th now, is really heating up. Absolutely great stuff from all of them. Nobody really showing any kind of significant advantage. The advantage Lorito seemed to have in qualifying has disappeared. He's the hometown boy, no hometown advantage, of course. This track laid out by Patrick Friesacker in an 819-metre track here, laid out especially for the event. None of the guys had seen it before they came here this weekend. It's absolutely new for everybody, so very even performance for everybody here. Lap 18 of 28, still 10 to go. And Roscoff pushing as hard as he can. He didn't quite take a 10th out on that last lap. Just 7 hundredths he took out of the leader. This is the battle then for third place. Still, Vishak has the advantage very slightly over Conrad, the Brazilian. They've dropped Lorito, the Italian, very slightly. He's still well clear of the 6th place man, who's Vijanor, ahead of Shendrick, Richardson, Teixeira and Kuzbar. Completed lap 19 of 28. 1 second dead now between Sawada and Roscoff. Vishak, 11.2 seconds behind them, but nothing ahead of Conrad and Lorito. 14 and 13, Vishak and Conrad. Fabio Conrad, the 20-year-old Brazilian student, looking for a way past Vishak. They've all been warned that they really can't do any of the bumping, knocking out of the way. They've got to rake it clean, otherwise they're going to have a 15-second stop-go penalty, which would be absolutely disastrous, of course, at this stage of the race. Lap 20, 28 finished, and this time Sawada put in a bit of an extra effort. He did a 1:47.282, 2 tenths quicker than Roscoff, just to ease that advantage out to 1.2 seconds. Roscoff has got to find something quickly if he's going to get back on terms with the Japanese. It's a psychological 1 second. When it gets beyond that, it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's I think the distance, the worst distance to have is 1 second, because you saw the other driver, but for sure in that moment you are doing almost the same time, so you have to take 1/10 every lap to try to catch the other driver, so I think it's the most difficult second to catch it.
And completing lap 22, there was a great move there from Conrad, the Brazilian, to get past Vishak. He's moved up into third place. Beautiful move up the inside at the end of the back straight. But it's not all over. Oh, it's a bit tough there between the two of them. Getting together now. It's getting hectic. 21 of 28 laps, and they're side by side again. It's changed again. It's 14 Vishak who's got back in front of Conrad. And it really is tough. Just behind them, Lorito seeing all this action. He's got a view of the grandstand view of Conrad and Vishak battling in front. Out onto the start and finish then. To complete lap 22 of 28, just 6 laps remaining. The leaders are well clear. It's still 1.2 seconds, almost nothing at all changed on that lap. A few thousandths it was that Roscoff gained back over Sawada. He's got to do more than that, and he knows it. Still the battle. We're waiting now. The 13-second gap back to third. Vishak, Conrad, Lorito have crossed the line. Then another back to Shendrick, Richardson, Teixeira, Vijanor and Kuzbar, who are the top 10. And you can see the number 10 car of Sawada, chased by the number 18 car of Vasily Roscoff. Roscoff using every bit of the track and the pit lane in his pursuit of the Japanese 13-year-old. Out onto the start and finish. Now, as Miguel said, the impressive thing about Roscoff was the way he improved all the way through practice and qualifying. He's got some improving to do still, because he's now 23 of 28. It's down 0.9. It's under 1 second. 47.002 from Roscoff. He really is putting the hammer down, chasing after the Japanese. He knows that it's all on the line. The title of Red Bull Kart Fight World Champion is down to these last 5 laps, and he's putting it all on the line for the Russian Federation, chasing the Japanese. This is the battle for third place between Vishak, Conrad and Lorito. Vishak and Conrad got away from the Italian now. It's just the pair of them to sort out the battle for third place in that final rostrum position. There they are, 14 chased by 13. Ivan Vishak chased by Fabio Conrad. They've already had a go at each other. They know that, both know that they're prepared to really put it on the line. Completing down to 0.5. And as we lose two more unlucky men out of it, that's number 7 was one of those, 0.5. 46.801, what a sensational lap from Roscoe. He really is closing on the Japanese. Goodness knows what he's found, but he's found something from nowhere there to really close down on the Japanese ahead of them as the battle goes on for third place between Vyšák and Konrad. Superb stuff from the Russian.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job, and he's pushing now that he knows that it's only 4 laps to go. He's almost there.
Yeah, there he is. You can see it. We don't need to look at the timing monitor anymore. It's all down to visual. He's right on the tail of the Japanese, where he's found that extra pace from. 46.890, another fastest lap from the Russian. He's got the Japanese right on his tail. I wonder, there's no pit signals here. Of course, if the Japanese looks up at the big screen, he's going to see what happened. Otherwise, he might not know until he gets the nose of the Russian in front of him that the Russian is back right there. The number 3 board. 3 laps to go. Just 3 laps remaining in the Red Bull Kart 5 World Final. And there is the battle for the lead. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Where will the Russian try and get past this time? Is he going to wait for the last lap? It didn't pay off for him in the first race. He's surely not going to wait for the last lap this time. Where is he going to pick his chance to choose the Japanese? If you had to guess, where would you do it, Miguel?
I think where the other guy don't expect it.
Yeah.
So should be 4 corners to go to the last. I would do it in the last lap.
You would. You leave it right to the last lap.
Yes.
Okay.
Because like this, when you do it, the other guy are in shock, you know, and has no time to react, and that's what I would like to do if I am in the situation from Roscoe.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
and here I think here can be a good point, but for sure the Sawada, he knows, and he will try to close the door for the Russian guy.
It's exactly where Roscoe tried it in the first race, and as you say, the Japanese closed the door on him. And so he's had that experience when he takes a really wide line. The Japanese knows he's there for sure. He's seen over his shoulder. He knows the Russian is there. It's just a couple of laps to go now. This is lap 27 and 28. Absolutely side by side. Absolutely brilliant stuff. The Russian goes through. The Russian has the lead now. It's a Russian Federation leading Japan. It is Roscoe leading Sawada. And it's all on for the last lap and a half. And they touch again. A bit of a nudge there from the Japanese behind, but he can't get past from there. It's all on now. And the Russian looks over his shoulder. He knows the Japanese is there. He guards the inside line and he hits a curb on the inside. He hits that tough block and he's watching out now. He's really driving defensively. He's watching behind him and the Japanese comes inside him. Hits side by side now. The Japanese have the advantage. Sawada has it. He'll go on to the last lap in the lead, but absolutely nothing in it between them. It is the Japanese that lead. He wins on the last lap. He's won the race. The Japanese has won. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Sawada. He did it well. You take nothing away from Roscoe. He got past. He did all that he could, and there was side by side so many times on that last lap. But Sawada took it away, and he is the Red Bull Kart 5 World Champion. Well, what a sensational race! You couldn't wish for a better finish.
Yeah, what do you expect? No, in the last lap. They tried they put everything there, and he was really clever, and at the end Sawada won.
Yeah, and there is a Russian. No criticism at all. You couldn't, and it was a very fair race between the two.
It was fair.
Yeah.
And it's normal that a bit of contact in the last lap, so was a really good race. But the Russian guy did a really good recover after this 1.5, if I'm not mistake, that he was behind the Sawada. So was a really good fight, and at least we enjoyed.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't have wished for a better final. It had absolutely everything. It was only the two of them going for the win, but what a pair. What an absolute pair. And almost forgot in the heat of that it was Vyšák who crossed the line in third place to complete the podium ahead of Konrad and Lorito. Shendrik, Richardson, Teixeira, Vijanor and Kuzbar were the top 10. The young Japanese, just 13 years old, And what a way to visit Europe from Japan. There's a Russian, and he put in a fine performance. As we said, he got quicker all the way through the weekend and proved himself just about the equal of the Japanese. You wouldn't pick between the two of them on that last lap.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was impressive how performed these two drivers, especially, and not only them, all the 20 kart finalists. They did a really good job during the weekend, and also it was a good race for all the people, and especially for Red Bull that did this new project, and was really nice.
Very exciting project indeed. I know you were coaching some of the guys. It must have been fun for you to talk to them and hear their experiences.
Yeah, I was with the American guys, and I tried to give them my experience. I have in Spain a go-kart team, so. And yeah, it's what I'm doing when I'm at home, so it's really nice to change my ideas and my experience, and I think we did a good job. The Brazilian guy that I was coaching as well, he did P4, so it was fun.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, these guys come from vastly different backgrounds.